What? Bang!
Wrestling podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep screwed rep.
Yeah.
Woo!
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it? Unbelievable.
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for. It's me, Austin. I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling video game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available exclusively through Facebook. Create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline pay-per-views, even build your own corporation, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable, available now to all Facebook users, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shout-outs like my good buddy John in Texas. John, always love giving you that shout-out, our number one Patreon. Check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. If you are a $15 a month contributor, you can co-host a live show with me. $7.50 a month. I will enter you into a drawing to do a live show with me as well. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, you've got comments, anything you want me to touch on in the future episode, drop us a line. The Pro Wrestling Sound Off line, 267-642-1160. Give us your questions, your comments, and I will get to those in a future episode. Tonight is the night. We are one day away, and it is obvious what we have to talk about tonight. It is Royal Rumble time. WWE, my favorite time of the year. There is no pay-per-view out there that I appreciate more than the Royal Rumble. I don't think anything gives me the level of excitement that the Rumble does every year since the first one. Even the Hacksaw Jim Duggan one way back in 88, whatever it was. I loved it, and I have loved the Royal Rumble ever since. So, tonight, we're going to talk about the match card, some predictions, who's going to be surprises, who's coming back, who's debuting, number of eliminations, who are the Iron People going to be, and who are going to win and go on to face the champions at WrestleMania. First, we got to touch on some things. And before I get into the Rumble, special congratulations out there to Triple H being announced as the first entry into the WWE Hall of Fame 2025 class. He deserves it. It's long overdue. And at this point, it is something that I'm trying to be convinced that he was surprised completely. If you haven't seen the video, go to WWE.com and check it out. But what I believe is that Triple H, the minute that Shawn Michaels, if you haven't seen the video, Shawn Michaels comes out, then The Undertaker comes out, they announce that he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then once they do that, then it moves on to him accepting the honor, Stephanie McMahon coming out, and when Stephanie comes out, she is a tear-filled mess, and she's celebrating with her husband. I think it's a beautiful opportunity to take a look at. If you get a chance, check that video out. So congratulations to Triple H. Well-deserved, a solo entry into the Hall of Fame. That being said, let's get into the Royal Rumble right away. The match card, only 4 matches advertised. Let's vent the frustration first. No women's championship match on the card. I'm talking about world champions, WWE champions, Intercontinental, United States, women's tag team, none of those championships being defended. That's wrong. On an event like this, on this scale, I don't care how many Royal Rumble matches you've got, they should be defending some of those championships. Next year, when it goes to 2 nights, they better be defending championships. It's obnoxious that we're not seeing more championships defended. Gunther doesn't have a match on the card. How do you not put the world champion on the card at Royal Rumble to set something up. Now, I'm going to propose something to you in a little bit that explains why it might be a good idea to keep him off the card. But I don't suspect they're going to go that route, which totally destroys my whole point if that's what they do. So let's start with this. The World Tag Team Championship on SmackDown. The WWE Tag Team Champions, DIY, defending their championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match against the former champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. Look, if Triple H is booking this the way he booked the Black and Gold NXT brand, then these two teams could tear the house down. They could have a classic, an absolute clinic. They could show everybody in the locker room how it's done. The problem I have is a lot of times WWE will take opportunities for this 2 out of 3 falls stipulation, and they'll give you 2 really fast falls, which means the whole premise behind it is kind of worthless. Those first 2 falls are throwaways, then you just have 1 match. What I would do here is give them the time. 3 solid falls. I don't need 20-minute falls so we have an hour-long tag team match, but 10 minutes, maybe another 7. Final fall, maybe another 10 to 12 minutes. Give me a good half hour to 35 minutes total in-ring action for the Tag Team Championship and let these guys tell a story. They know how to do it better than anybody. That being said, this is the opportunity to really establish DIY as the champions. Have them win 1 fall by some schmaz ending, have the Machine Guns pick up another fall, and then have DIY get a clean victory to retain their championship. That is my prediction for the Tag Team Championship. DIY retains, and they go on for a program at WrestleMania with somebody else. Now, leaning into the other match that's announced for the card, we have to ask the question that's out there. What is the involvement of Sami Zayn in the match? I believe that you could do it. Some people hypothesize that Sami Zayn turns heel. He looked really interesting standing side by side with Kevin Owens, with Cody laying on the ground after he accidentally haluva kicked him on Monday night. I don't know that that's the right direction now, because I cannot see any scenario where Kevin Owens this year, with all the dream match scenarios that are out there, headlines WrestleMania. That being said, I think what makes much more sense is Sami Zayn does make an appearance, but he is friends with Kevin Owens and he is friends with Cody. And I believe what will end up happening is Sami Zayn will not attack Kevin Owens, because that would go against the character, but he will distract Kevin Owens, leading to Cody picking up the victory. That makes sense to me, because then we could lean heavily into the Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens singles match at WrestleMania. These best friends have headlined WrestleMania as a tag team. Now it's time to give them their moment to really turn it on at WrestleMania one-on-one, and this is a great opportunity to do just that. That being said, my prediction, Cody walks out as WWE Champion. Hands down, this is the one match I feel like is an absolute lock. That being said, I mentioned earlier about Gunther not having a championship match. I want to address that for a moment, because were it me, first off, I would have had the Women's World Championships have something go on. If it was a tag team match, something. You could have had a Rhea and Nia rematch and have Nia come out late in the Rumble. You could have had a blow-off match with Liv and Rhea just to finish that up completely and never think about it again. You could have Tiffany Stratton go out and throw out an open challenge, and maybe that's where you debut somebody we'll get into later. There's a lot of things you could have done, and they did nothing with the women. In terms of the men, though, if you open the show with the Men's Royal Rumble, which if it was my decision, that is how you would start the show, I would start with the Men's Rumble, have that winner be determined, and then after the Rumble, the Men's Rumble, I would have Gunther come out to cut a promo, daring the winner to challenge him. But before that could happen, I would play the music, and I would have Goldberg come out and set up a feud with Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, and have the winner of the Royal Rumble challenge the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. That is what I would do. It's not the only possibility, but that's the one I would do. That keeps Gunther in a positive, very important role at the Royal Rumble. It helps him with his credibility on Netflix and that show where they have really poorly booked the World Championship. I think that's what I would do if it was up to me. That being said, let's get into the Men's Royal Rumble first, because like I said, were it up to me, that's what I would book first. The Men's Royal Rumble. If I asked you who is the final 4, there are more than 4 names that many people would be perfectly okay being there at the end. You have the CM Punks, the Roman Reigns, the John Cena, the Seth Rollins, the Jey Usos, the Drew McIntyres. You have so many people perfectly set up to be in the Final Four. Sami Zayn. All those guys could be in the Final Four. And I named, 6, 7 guys? And that's not counting any of the surprises. For example, you could easily see somebody like Brock Lesnar return, win, and challenge Gunther for that dream match we've always wanted. Now, we're WWE, and this is my honest prediction about Brock Lesnar. We don't see Brock Lesnar in a WWE performance of any kind until the Janelle Grant lawsuit goes away, which is not done yet and will not be done in time for the Rumble tomorrow. So I don't think Brock is coming. I'm just putting out there that there are rumors out there that he may, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence. That being said, I predict Brock does not show up. But do you use the Final Four as a method to elevate somebody new, like a Braun Breaker? Is that a spot you put him in to get him groomed for the next year where he may legitimately be one of your favorites to win the event or possibly even win the event? I don't know. But do you put a Jacob Fatu out there who also could be somebody who would benefit from being in the Final Four and set up a major program for WrestleMania? I don't think so, because I'll get to Jacob Fatu in a minute. Let's talk about other surprises. Omos, coming back from Pro Wrestling Noah. He's been gone for a few months, won the Noah Tag Team Championship, relinquished his half of the Tag Team Championship recently, and he is in Indianapolis right now, Lucas Oil Stadium, getting ready for something. Does he come out and just be the big guy who gets eliminated, or, as the reports are saying, WWE is over the moon with his improvement over in Japan? Do you make him a Final Four participant? I don't care either way. If he really has improved that much. If he has not, he's the big guy who eventually gets eliminated. I'm okay with him being in the match. Okay? But he is supposed to be there. There's not a ton of super surprises on the men's side. Yes, will we see probably a Joe Hendry appearance? I would imagine it's possible. There's a lot of talk about Sami Callihan possibly showing up from TNA Wrestling. Conversation about Josh Alexander, who's wrapping up with TNA, also possibly being a surprise entrant. I'd be okay with that as well. Several people from TNA would not surprise me. Nick Nemeth coming in as Nick Nemeth. Matt Cardona, who's been begging almost for years to come back. I'd love to see that as well. Any of those coming back would be interesting, and I think we actually may see all of those. I really hope we do see all of those. We will not see Aleister Black. His contract's not up till late February, early March with AEW, so that one we got to put to bed. That is not happening. I can't imagine WWE and AEW working out some financial arrangement to allow that to happen, so I'm turning the page on the Aleister Black. Maybe he'll be back in time for a Mania program. Maybe they hold him off until the Raw after Mania. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't think he is a part of the Royal Rumble this year. Do we see a Japanese superstar from Pro Wrestling Noah come in like Marufuji and participate in the Rumble? Very possible. With all the stars potentially crossing over from TNA and places like that, do we see WWE offer an opportunity to another company outside of their umbrella? A Mance Warner from GCW? Do we see somebody from CMLL or AAA? You'd have to wonder. A lot of relationships with AEW, with the AAA talent. What about CMLL? Do you bring in a CMLL star? We'll have to wait and see. I don't think there's many more surprises beyond the ones I've already mentioned. We'll have to wait and see. But let's talk about the other big spots at the Rumble. First off, Iron Man. I've seen a lot of people predict Carmelo Hayes as the Iron Man. I don't see it. I get why. He's incredibly talented, but I don't think he's the Iron Man. I think your Iron Man this year, because I don't think he has a chance to win it, is Jey Uso. I have Jey Uso come out 1 or 2, maybe 3, and last a long, long time. But that being said, if Jey is going to be the Iron Man, Roman has to come out very late, because I don't want them interacting at all during the match. As a matter of fact, I would not be opposed to Jacob Fatu eliminating Jey Uso towards the end of the match and then Roman coming out, because I believe that Roman and Jacob is what people want to see anyways. That being said, who is going to have the most eliminations in the Men's Rumble? And that honor, I believe, goes to Jacob Fatu. We need to establish Jacob as the premium member of Bloodline 2.0 that's left and make that guy the star that he's supposed to be. Now, I get it. A lot of people want to see him versus Solo at Mania. And I'll be honest with you, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm on board with that. But what if WWE doesn't want to go that direction? After what happened on Raw with Cody and Punk, does WWE change gears and give us Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? because they change their mind and go with Cody versus Punk at WrestleMania. I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see. I think at some point we'll get that match. Where do other people come in this? Does Randy Orton return and set up an opportunity? Does he win the Rumble and challenge Cody? Don't know. Again, another very interesting possibility. We'll have to wait and see. However, I think Jacob Fatu is the one who is going to be getting the most eliminations in this Rumble. He needs that dominance. That being said, and if you think about it, with Roman having the record, I believe, all time in one Rumble, it would make sense for him to try to break Roman's record. That'd be awesome. So we'll have to watch Jacob Fatu closely. Let's go to the rest of the match. Who are going to be the final four? I think it comes down to John Cena, CM Punk. I think they have to be at the end. Roman Reigns has to be at the end. Then it is, do you do Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins? I'm not sure. It's really tough. If I'm a betting man, I put Drew McIntyre in that final four. In that final four, though, Drew McIntyre is hell-bent on getting CM Punk. I think that's a bad idea. We need to turn the page on all of that. Somebody else has to eliminate Drew. We already did Drew and Seth last year at Mania, so it can't be Seth. So thinking about who's left, I think the person who eliminates Drew McIntyre is Roman Reigns. Roman eliminates Drew. We're down to 3. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, John Cena. How do we progress from there? Well, I think what ends up happening is you have the CM Punk, Roman Reigns stare down, exchange of punches, go for a spear, hit a GTS, all that stuff while Cena is down and resting. And at some point, that's where you could have the two of them leaning into the ropes, trying to eliminate each other, and Cena could sneak over and throw both out. My prediction is that John Cena wins the WWE Men's Royal Rumble 2025 to go on to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. That's the prediction. Mark it down. We'll see if I'm right. Now, let's go to the last match of the night, the Women's Royal Rumble. The surprises, nobody's secret. Jordynne Grace is going to be there. I don't care what her X account says about her going to her mother's 50th birthday. Nonsense. She'll be in that Rumble. We have NXT stars in the area. We've got Lash Legend. We've got Jakara Jackson. We've got Stephanie Vacour. We have various people in town for the Royal Rumble. I think many of them. Sol Roca would be another great one to have in there to give an NXT presence. And Roxanne Perez essentially should be on the main roster already. She's already in town. They are the surprises. Who else? Well, I would not be surprised if we see Nikki Bella. I would not be surprised if we saw Brie Bella. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Trish Stratus, who is in town. Michelle McCool, the current woman with the most eliminations in a single Rumble. Why not? A Kelly Kelly, something like that. None of those would surprise me. Who do we see as the Iron Woman? And I think the Iron Woman, you want to set somebody up, you want to establish a new star, forget NXT. She's been there, done that. I make Jordynne Grace the Iron Woman. Have her come out 3 and last a good 50 minutes. Jordynne Grace is my prediction for the Iron Woman. Now, what about the rest of the show? Who is going to get the most eliminations? Most eliminations for me, it's got to be somebody who you want to put into that upper echelon program, challenging for a championship, maybe even the Women's United States Championship. I think the most eliminations this year, because she's not in any other major world championship program, should be Bayley. Let Bayley have that moniker and take that moniker from Michelle McCool. That way, even though she's not a women's world champion or WWE champion, she has something coming out of this that builds some momentum for her to lead into a program probably against Chelsea Green for the WWE United States Women's Championship. That being said, Final Four. Here's the prediction. The returning Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, because I feel those two have to be in the Final Four. And then after that, who do you want to be there at the end? Who has established himself? Liv Morgan, I'm okay with that. And then who's your fourth girl? Who's the other person who could be the disruptive force that you could believe could possibly win? If I'm booking this show, I make that one a legend just because you want to have that massive pop. And there is no bigger pop, no bigger speculation, and I already think I'm wrong about it, but I'm going for it with my gut and my heart. AJ Lee as the 4th member of the Final Four in the Royal Rumble. I don't think she wins it because it's her first match back, but I think AJ Lee's in the Final Four. In terms of the winner, the odds makers have said it. I don't disagree with it. I don't see any path forward other than to have Charlotte Flair eliminate Becky Lynch at the end of the match for Charlotte Flair to win the Women's Royal Rumble, who they are reporting is going to come back and lean into her Flair legacy and really go for that 16th World Championship and tie her father. I think Charlotte is the perfect winner. I don't know if she's going to be booed, cheered, or all points in between, but at this point, in my opinion, Charlotte is the most likely and the most logical winner. Now, I know there's going to be people out there that are not on board with that. I know there's going to be people out there that say she's had too much too quick. She's always pushed to the top of the card. But after over a year of being away, she is a draw. No Ronda Rouseys this year. Nobody else. This is the year that Charlotte Flair can come out and headline WrestleMania in a match with Tiffany Stratton, who has been very clear that Charlotte is one of her dream matches. It's somebody she wants to work with. That leaves Rhea Ripley freed up to create a program, probably with Becky Lynch, which I'd be perfectly okay with, or another talent. We'll have to wait and see. That being said, that's our show. That's our wrap on the Royal Rumble. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode where we run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks as always out to Suno AI for helping us create our music and sound effects. Today's show is sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bringing a new friend to family game night is easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side by going to thegamecrafter.com. Pick up your copy today and play this game by Beazle Games. It is amazing. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college or university life, or maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our other website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. Thank you for joining us for our prediction show, and we can't wait to see the results of the Royal Rumble. Take care. Have a great night, everyone.
Crossing the